Good afternoon, students. Yesterday I have told you to read the chapter Deep Water. Okay, very important chapter. Now, before we read this chapter, here it is very important to know about the author William O. Douglas, especially because this is an autobiographical sketch, right? Uh, you may be asked question about the author as well from this chapter. One thing is important that he has been an advisor to American President Franklin D. Roosevelt. This you have to remember, right? And second important thing about him is that he has also worked as an advocate. He was a leading advocate of individual rights and he retired in 1975 with a term lasting 36 years and remains the longest serving justice in the history of court. This you have to remember two things, very important things about William O. Douglas. That he has been an advisor to the president of US Franklin D. Roosevelt, and second thing is that he was an advocate and he remains the longest serving justice in the history of court. Third thing about very important thing about this chapter is that he this is an autobiographical sketch that I have already told you. He had developed an aversion to water, hatred towards water in his very childhood. Then something happened that he had inherent fear of water. But the main thing is that when he decided how to overcome that fear, and he did it. This is what the chapter is about, right? So now straight away come on to the first paragraph. It had happened when I was 10 or 11 years old. I had decided to learn to swim. There was a pool at the YMCA in Yakima that offered exactly the opportunity. The Yakima River was treacherous, unsafe, dangerous. Treacherous means unsafe and dangerous. Mother continually warned against it. It here refers to Yakima River. So even his mother did not want him to go and learn swimming in Yakima River and kept fresh in my mind the details of each drowning in the river. So whatever misadventure has happened in Yakima River, she kept on reminding Douglas about those mishappenings. Okay. Comparatively, the YMCA pool was safe. It was 2 or 3 feet at the shallow end, and while it was 9 feet deep at the other end. That means the the shallow end was very much safe for a beginner, one who begins to learn swimming. And the drop from 3 or 4 feet to 9 feet, the drop was also not sudden, it was gradual. Okay. And I got a pair of wings and I went to the pool. I hated to walk. Douglas says that I hated to walk naked into it and show my thin legs, but I subdued my pride and did it. Underline the word subdued. He says that though hated to walk showing my skinny legs and go into the pool, but again at the same time he says that I suppressed my pride, my aversion, my hate of not showing my skinny legs. He subdued that feeling and went on to learn swimming. Then he narrates one very important thing. For 2 mark question, you have to be very alert in the second paragraph, students. From the beginning, however, I had an aversion to the water when I was in it. So, when did he develop that aversion to water? When he was merely 2 years. When he was, 3 or 4 years old. Remember this again. When he was merely 3 or 4 years old, he had developed that hate, that fear, that aversion to water. Why this start? He says because when he was 3 or 4 year old, and his father took him to the beach in California. Then he says that he and I stood together in the surf when water was flowing. That is called surf. Okay. So don't get confused here. Surf is waves breaking in on the seashore. He says, I hung on to him. I had clutched my father. I had held my father. This is what he's saying. Yet the wave knocked me down and swept over me. The wave swept over him. I was buried in water, means the water flew over him. He was underwater. This is what he wants to say, that I was buried in water. My breath was gone. I was frightened. And father laughed. But there was terror in my heart at the overpowering forces of the waves. Right? He's saying that there was fear. This is the second paragraph that you have to answer. Right? Then I started when I was 3 or 4 year old. Just underline this. Okay. Now, students, come on to the third paragraph. My introduction to the YMCA swimming pool revived unpleasant memories and stirred childish fears. Obviously, it was natural that when this has happened when he was only 3 or 4 years old. So when he went for swimming, when he was 9 or 10 years old at the YMCA swimming pool, his unpleasant memories revived. So, if you get a two-mark question, what unpleasant memories were revived when he went there on for swimming? This would be the answer, that his childish fear when he had went on the California beach with his father. He was swept away by his father. That unpleasant memory was there. That childish fear was there when he went to the YMCA pool to learn swimming. But in a little while, I gathered confidence. This is what you need. He also says that I gathered confidence. I paddled, I swam with my new water wings, watched the other boys and trying to learn by aping them, by copying them, right? Now, I did this 2 or 3 times on different days, and was just beginning to feel at ease in the water when the misadventure happened. Right. So in this paragraph, what the author is saying is that though when he went to YMCA pool, his childish fear, his childhood fear of California River, the incident of California River revived, but he tried to overcome that fear. He tried to gain confidence. He started to learn swimming, trying to ape, trying to copy the other boys who were trying learning or who were swimming in that YMCA pool. But again, he says that some misadventure happened, some accident happened. What is this accident? You may get 6-mark questions, so be very attentive. He says, I went to the pool when no one else was there. This is one day's incident that had happened with him. Okay, you might get some 2-mark question or maybe a 6-mark question from this incident. He says, I went to the pool when no one was there. The place was quiet, the water was still, and the tiled bottom was as white and clean as a bathtub. I was timid about going in alone, so I sat on the side of the pool to wait for others. Now, there is one word in this paragraph. I was timid. Yes. So, what could be the meaning of timid? See, he was afraid. Okay. he was afraid of going inside the water because he was all alone. So he says, I was timid, and that's why. What did he decide? Why didn't he go inside the pool? A simple two-mark question, because he was not sure about himself. In other words, he had not gained his full confidence of swimming, and that is why he was. And this was a good decision. He was waiting for the others to arrive there, to come in there. So he was sitting on the side of the pool to wait for others. Right. Now he says, I had not been there long when in came a big bruiser of a boy. Yes, bruiser of a boy, very large in size, a tough, well built boy. So there came a bruiser of a boy, probably 18 years old, he says. So I had not been there long when in came a big bruiser of a boy. How would you define this word? Big bruiser of a boy, well built boy. And then he says probably 18 years old. And why he is using the word probably? Maybe because he was not knowing his exact age. He looked like 18 years old boy. He had thick hair on his chest. He was a beautiful physical specimen. Physically, he was a well built boy. He was an example specimen of a well built boy. This is what he wants to say, with fine legs, nice legs and arms that showed rippling strong muscles. And he shouted, he yelled, hi skinny, hi thin boy, how would you like to be ducked? Ducked means thrown inside the water, put inside the water. So he says, how would you like to be ducked? And with these words, he picked me up and tossed me into the deep end. See, student, why he is using the word deep end. At shallow end, it was only 2 or 3 feet deep, that YMCA pool. At the deep end, it was 9 feet, and he was merely 9 or 10 years old. So he says he picked me up, tossed into the deep end. I had landed in a sitting position, swallowed water, and went at once to the bottom. I was frightened, but not yet frightened out of my wits. Yes, underline this phrase, out of my wits. What do you mean by out of my wits here? Yes, out of my wits means he says that he had that his consciousness. He still had not lost his consciousness. So he says that he was very frightened, but not out of my wits. Means he had that thinking power, what to do at that very crucial and very important time. So he said, he was just thinking in his mind that I would make a big jump, come to the surface, lie flat on it, and paddle to the edge of the pool. Paddle means swim to the edge of the pool. It seemed a long way down. Which long way? That when he was going, sinking down and down inside the pool at the deeper end. So he says it seemed a long way down. Those 9 feet were more than 90, and before I touched bottom, my lungs were ready to burst. Maybe there was water. But when my feet hit bottom, he says, I gathered all my strength, all my physical power, and made what I thought was a great spring upwards. When he tried to jump upwards, I imagine I would bob to the surface like a cock. He just had in his mind that he will start floating. Bob to the surface means start floating like a cock, a shuttlecock. It is very light in weight, right? So it floats on water. So he is comparing it with Bob. Okay. So the word that you have to underline here is that he imagine I would bob, float to the surface like a cock. Instead, this did not happen. Means he did not start floating. Instead, what happened, he says, I came up slowly. I opened my eyes and saw nothing but water. Water that had a dirty yellow tinge. Tinge is color. I grew panicky. Obviously, he had that in his mind that when as soon as he uh, goes upward, he will start floating and then he will paddle to the edge of the pool. But that did not happen. And obviously, he grew panicky. Panic started. He became nervous. He became more of afraid. Right. So, panicky here means he got afraid, panicked. Then he says, I reached up as if to grab a rope and my hands clutched not, only water. I was suffocating. Obviously, it was not easy to breathe. So he says, I was suffocating. I tried to yell, to shout, but no sound came out. Obviously, he wanted to shout for help, but he could not yell, he could not shout. Then my eyes and nose came out of water, but not my mouth. So, this was the first jump when he made, and this was his experience. Okay, you may get 2 mark question out of it as complete detail, maybe asked in 6 mark questions. So, be very alert when you are doing these paragraphs, students. Then he says, I flayed to the surface of water, swallowed and choked. Okay, again he's saying that he tried to tried to float at the surface of the water, swallowed and simply choked. I tried to bring my legs up, but then they hung as dead weights, paralyzed and rigid. In water, you cannot feel that weight of the legs. And that is why he says, I tried to bring my legs up, but that they hung as dead. And that is why he is saying that legs hung as dead weights, paralyzed and rigid. Then what did he do? He felt as if leg has become very stiff, rigid. A great force was pulling me under. I screamed, but only the water heard me. I had started on the long journey back to the bottom of the pool. Once he came up, only his eyes and nose were out of the water, not his mouth. Remember this. And again he started sinking, going back in the deeper end of the pool. I struck at the water as I went down, expanding my strength as one in a nightmare flights, an irresistible force. He says, as if he was in nightmare, that horrible dream. He says that he tried everything, but that force was irresistible. He could not resist that force of water. He could not fight that strong force of water. That is, he is referring to as irresistible, that is unavoidable, that he cannot resist, that he cannot check. I had lost all my breath. My lungs ached, ACHED. My lungs ached, started paining. My head throbbed. Yes. Again, he says, my head throbbed, means it had a different type of sensation, a beating sensation of what to do. I was getting dizzy. Yes, dizzy again is an important word, means out of sense. When you become giddy, you feel giddy. That is called dizzy. Dizzy also. So he says, my head has started throbbing, had a beating sensation. He got dizzy. He was out of senses. So what did he say? That still He says, I remembered the strategy, the plan. What was the plan? To move upside. So he says, I remembered the strategy. I would spring from the bottom of the pool and come like a cock to the surface. See, students, that amount of courage that he had, he was moving down, he was feeling giddy, he was feeling dizzy, but still his head was throbbing with different he had it had become senseless. Still that wit, that his inner strength, and that strategy that he had decided that whenever he will touch the bottom of the pool he will give a upward swing, right? So that he remembered. He says that I would spring from the bottom of the pool and come like a cock to the surface. I would lie flat on the water, strike out with my arms, means he will do swimming, and thrash with my legs, thrash the water with legs. Then I would get to the edge of the pool and be safe. I went down endlessly. I opened my eyes, nothing but water with a yellow glow, with yellow color, dark water that one could not see through. And then sheer stark terror seized me, gripped me. Seized. Okay, that is seizing, gripped me. Terror that knows no understanding. Again, terror has been described here. You may get 2 mark questions, so be very careful. Then terror, stark terror seized me. Terror that knows no understanding. Terror that knows no control. Terror that no one can understand who has not experienced it. I was shrieking underwater. I was paralyzed underwater, stiff, rigid with fear. Even the screams that shout in my throat were frozen, could not come out. Only my heart and the pounding in my head, that throbbing in my head, said that I was still alive. Yes. So, this is the experience that he had when he was second time again under the water. That he says he was feeling paralyzed, stiff, rigid, full of fear. He says even this screams could not come out. He says only that heartbeat and that pounding and that throbbing in the head could make him realize that he was still alive. And then in the midst of the terror came a touch of reason. I must remember to jump when I hit the bottom. At last, I felt the tiles under me. My toes reached out as if to grab them. I jumped with everything I had. This was the third time, students. So, for 6 mark question, remember this. When again he touched at the tiles, he jumped with everything I had. What does the word everything mean here? Mean here? Everything means all the courage, all the strength that was still left in him. So he says, I jumped with everything I had, but the jump made no difference. The water was still around me. I looked for ropes, ladders, water wings, nothing but water. A mass of yellow water held me. Stark terror took an even deeper hold on me. Means now the terror was more strong. It had a deeper hold, like a great charge of electricity. I shook and trembled, started trembling, shaking with fright. Fright is fear. My arms would not move, my legs would not move. I tried to call for help, to call for mother. Nothing happened. And then, strangely, there was light. I was coming out of the awful yellow water. At least my eyes were, my nose was almost out too. This was the third time. Then I started down a third time. This has happened. I sucked for air and got water. The yellowish light was going out. Yellowish light. That yellow tinge of water. Then all efforts stopped. I relaxed. Even my legs felt that limp, and a blackness that swept over my brain. It wiped out fear. This was the stage when all fear was gone. Okay, now because he felt as if something is that everything is black out there, and this feeling wiped out, removed. Here wiped out means removed all his fear. It wiped out not only fear, wiped out terror. There was no more panic, there was no more fear. It was quiet and peaceful. Nothing to be afraid. This is nice to feel drowsy, to feel sleepy, to go to sleep. No need to jump, too tired to jump. It's nice to be carried gently. What he's referring to here, students, that means here he has given up. And that is what he's saying, that it is nice to be carried gently, afloat along in space, tender, tender arms round me, tender arms like mothers. Now I must go to sleep. I crossed to oblivion, and the curtain of life fell, according to the author. Now, see here, curtain of life means curtain of life fell, and he says that I had passed into oblivion, forgetfulness. That means now he is accepting here that his death is very near, and that is why he crossed to oblivion, to forgetfulness. Oblivion, underline this word, it means forgetfulness, and the curtain of life fell, and that is why he is saying that some arm very tender is trying to grip. Okay, we will continue tomorrow.